I'm live. Hello. Welcome to another day of doing lives. I don't think you really understand how difficult this is for me. I actually have to really hype myself up to get on here every single day. And today I have family at home and I wanted to have some privacy while I quickly do this live. It's not going to be a long one, but I wanted to do it in my car. So here I am in my car doing my live. This morning I went and had an oil change and yeah, ran a few errands and now I'm easing into the rest of my day. I've got plans. I'm taking my daughter to meet her dad and his family for Thanksgiving, and then I am going to meet up with a really dear friend that I haven't seen in a long time. Really super excited about that. Yeah, it's a wonderful day. It's 10 days until my memoir launch when I will be exposing myself to the world. And it's funny because I think I talked about this in another live the other day about how when it was so much easier, and it is so much easier to expose my body and in photo shoots and videos and on stage when I was a dancer, and even in like one-on-one situations with lovers. But it's very different to expose myself through my writing. The good thing is that I've been writing blog posts for years, so that has given me practice sharing like some of the more sensitive stories that I have. I've practiced over the years, and I've had a lot of, and almost every time I release a new blog article, which is every week, I do feel a little like frightened, like a little heart fluttery, like I'm releasing these thoughts and these feelings out into the world, and what if people take them the wrong way, or what if people uh you know don't like me. And then I remember, I don't care if they don't like me, because you can't make everyone like you. You can't force everyone to like you. This is something actually that my mom taught me when I was quite young. And she said to me, "Do you like everyone?" And I said, "Well, no, not really, not necessarily. Most people, but not everyone." And she said, "Well, you don't need everyone to like you either." And I thought, that's so true, right? We don't need people to like us, but it's still, that is part of the feeling that you have when you put something out there that is private or sensitive, and you know that it could cause people to not like you, uh, like my stance on pharmaceuticals has really made problems between me and friends in the past, and comments I've made online have actually caused rifts and ended relationships and everything. So it's it's like, on one hand, people applaud me for having the courage to share my voice in public like I do, but on the other hand, uh, there's people who, when they don't like what I'm saying, just want me to shut the fuck up. And I've been on both sides of that, obviously. I think maybe that's part of the reason why I feel more understanding about people. Like, get this. I saw, who was it? Bobby Brown, I think, or something. I don't know celebrities that well, so just bear with me. But I saw that he had defended Sean P. Diddy or whatever. I don't know if I'm saying their names right, so please just bear with me. Uh, but I heard that he defended him not for what he allegedly did, but for what he, I don't think he's been convicted, has he? But we're pretty sure he did it all, right? But he defended him by saying everyone's acting like he's all bad and all evil, but he did a lot of good things for people, and we can't just erase all of that, or something like that. And I thought, oh my god, I can't believe the guy had the balls to say that, because anyone who's friends with with Sean P Diddy, whatever his name is, I'm sure many of them are thinking that. I've been in that position before where someone I cared about did something that was pretty shocking and that most people would be just like, you know, so repulsed by the behavior of that person, and it's someone that I cared about. And part of me, felt like we've made this person into just a monster and we've erased all the other qualities that they have. And I'm not trying to defend P Diddy or whatever, or anyone that's done horrific things. I'm not. But when somebody defends them publicly, that takes balls. That's all I'm saying. And when I see people have the courage to say things that are unpopular, uh, I don't know. It just my respect increases for them because I've been that person who felt in many situations, especially as a person working in the sex industry, that I had to say something, an unpopular opinion that nobody really liked. And I've experienced the backlash because of it too. But that doesn't mean you want to keep going through it over and over again. And it's one thing to, say something unpopular, and it's a whole other thing to share like your really deepest parts of yourself with the world and then be criticized. So I don't know. I can handle it though. Don't worry. I'm using these lives to like work through all of it, all of my fears. I know I'm gonna look back at these and be like, holy shit. Like you're struggling there, weren't you, Annie? But yeah, I'm almost there. 10 days now. 10 days. Happy dance. 10 days and then we just see what happens. Wouldn't it be amazing if like my book impacted people and it made them open their minds about people in the sex industry, including people who work in the sex industry and people who purchase sex industry services? And wouldn't it be amazing if it even opened up people's minds even more to other types of people that they've always just dismissed or seen as something different other than human? Because I feel like that's what we do when we hate a group of people, when we have a certain group of people that we hate. I feel like we dehumanize them. We turn them into monsters and don't recognize that their humanity. And I'm not saying they deserve, love and compassion for depending on what they've done. Honestly, I'm not saying that, but I do feel that it's important in all situations to remember that we're all human beings. And clearly there's mental illness in the world. Like obviously some people our society needs to be protected from. And I don't know about you, but I feel like society is getting less and less safe as I get older because I was just at the gym the other day, and when I walked out at 11 a.m. in the middle of the day, I had a guy threaten me with a steel rod under his long coat and follow me to my car, and it was terrifying, honestly. I didn't know what was going to happen. He could have hit me. He was that close. He could have hit me with the stick he was carrying, but he didn't, thank God. And he looked like he was like a homeless person with addiction issues and obviously mental illness, because who goes around threatening to hit women with like steel rods? You know what I mean? But like when something like that happens to me, and I'm kind of a tough bitch. Like I don't mean to brag, but I'm not like I'm aware of my surroundings. I saw him walking across the parking lot and just thought, oh, I have to walk past this homeless guy. I didn't even think anything of it. It didn't occur to me that he was at 11 a.m. walking across Planet Fitness parking lot going to become violent. And I think if someone can catch me that unaware, and I've had some, life experience and I have some street smarts, then just imagine my young 13-year-old child walking in my community, and it scares me. Like, I don't want to live in fear, obviously, and I'm not going to shelter my child, but at the same time, like, I'm not ready to have my child taking transit or going for walks, long walks by themselves or anything like that. It's just, I don't actually feel like our society has gotten safer, and I don't think it's working paying taxes to a government that just takes our money, puts most of it in their own pockets, and then distributes it as they see fit. And like, I don't trust a government to run a socialist system of universal income benefit, because they just like to put more and more money in their own pockets. Where is all this money going to come from? Who's going to have to do all the work to create that money? And how much richer will the politicians get because of it? I just don't trust them. I don't think the system is working, because when I pay my taxes, which are pretty much theft, because will be put in jail if I don't pay my taxes. And when I pay them, they don't even go towards the things I care about. Like, how much propaganda do my taxes pay for? How much overseas war do my taxes pay for? For over 20 years, I've been uh, in and around the addiction community and the frontline support worker community and people who are in addiction. And the same thing all these years, not enough detox beds. People can't get into detox beds. That's the first thing, the very first thing when someone decides that they want to get off drugs. In that moment, when they're ready, they need a detox bed. But no, they have to go on waiting lists, and they have to have a phone number, and they have to be available to take the call the minute it arrives. And these are things that don't, go hand in hand with severe drug addiction, especially if mental illness is a part of that. And like, the system's not working, and our society is getting sicker and more unsafe, in my opinion. And I don't know why I just went on that rant, probably because of what happened to me the other day at Planet Fitness. But I do believe that we need supports in place for people. I just don't know what the answer necessarily is, because right now I don't trust the people who are in charge of all the money that they're taking from us. And I don't believe they're going to do what's right for the people, because for over 20 years, and I'm sure longer than that, but that I know of, over 20 years, nobody has put money into detox. We have not increased our detox enough to serve the population. And, and honestly, I don't want mentally ill people wandering the street. That's another thing. Like, I don't think that's a healthy place for someone with mental illness to be in. I don't think it's a healthy community for our children to grow up in if they have to be in danger. So that's another thing. Like, I know people in frontline support have the answers, and for some reason it just doesn't get done. I just don't trust our government, because they don't do the shit that they're supposed to do, or that they say they're going to do. Look at Bedford. Look at how the laws came down, and I was like, wow, the sex work laws came down, and I just couldn't believe what we were able to achieve as a community of sex workers, lobbying the government, and the years that it took to get to that point where we could actually challenge all the laws. And it just made complete sense based on all the scientific, and this is good scientific literature. And a lot of people, just as an aside, think that it's hard to read science. It's not hard. Read the methodology. Everyone has a brain, and if you look at the methodology, you can get an idea of how they did it and whether it's junk science or not. Like, for instance, a study that they phoned everybody and did a poll over the phone asking people, do you trust the police? Said that 80 to 90% of people trust police. Well, 80 to 90% of people with phones who answer their phones and who answer polls. So you're not talking about the whole population here. You know what I mean? Like science it's tricky. You have to look at how it's done. And I don't know why I went off on that tangent. I'm going all over the place here, but I just feel like Yeah, I feel like I've talked too much. I just appreciate people being here to listen to my rants and yeah, this is 10 days till my book launch, and if you purchase it on October 22nd, then you get a free audiobook, and I want to help you. So if you help me promote my book and you help me by buying my book and maybe even leaving a review, then tell me how I can help you. Can I invite you onto my Fearless Living podcast? Have you done something fearless that you want to talk about? And uh, can I promote something that you're doing? Can I read your book? Send me a copy and I'll write a review, or I'll do whatever that I can do to help you too, because that's what we do, right? We lift each other up. We're here for each other. And enough talk about the government. Okay, Annie? All right. Love you guys.